Hi everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So, I'm back. Although, I've had videos, so you haven't really noticed I've been gone, but I've been gone. So, we actually had to take my baby to the hospital, and I have been there. And I will say that it's been a long fight with this thing. So, let's get started, and I'll tell you what happened. So, it was like full circle moment for me. We were in the hospital for her birthday, and it was the hospital I actually gave birth to her in, so that was fun. I will say the nurses were amazing, but I never really have a bad experience when it comes to the kids and the nurses. Like, I don't know if it's just a kid thing, but like, they're wonderful, you know. And I mean, I've never had a bad experience at a hospital. Like, Med Express is another story, but like, even I myself have never had a bad experience. But anyway, today we're going to be doing Valentine's Day Pass. Now, I don't know if this is a Valentine's Day Pass palette, like, as to say it launched on Valentine's Day, but it definitely reminds me of Valentine's Day, and it's the ColourPop Truly Madly Deeply. Now, with this palette, I almost at one point was going to declutter this palette because of my preferences. Back in the day when I first started makeup, I really loved this palette, and I think because it didn't go very dark and it had some lighter shades, but it wasn't dark, deep and dark, right? Well, my preference now is to have a deep and dark. I like it to go from light to dark, right? But it still works for me even now. It's just you're going to get the same kind of tones basically as far as looks go. Your lid shade would be a little different, but more importantly, the reason why now I was going to let this palette go is because there's 3 glitters, and it's their old formula, and there's one here, here, and here. However, upon going through ColourPop, I realized that these are all magnetic. So if I chose, I technically don't have to get rid of this palette. If this glitter gets on my nerves as bad as it does usually, I can easily just take it and pull out the glitter and be done with it. Clean the palette up, call it a day. Now, does it make the palette look a little different? Yeah, but at the same time, this glitter, especially back in the day, it is everywhere. You touch it, it's on you for the rest of the day. It's all over you. So there's that. I'm not a big fan of it, and I really wanted to put a little glitter, either the INDIO shade or Renegade shade, either this one here or this one here. I was really wanting to put on, but I just couldn't because I know it would be all over my face, so we didn't do that. But anywho, back to the palette. I still like this palette. Is it everything and more? No. Do I have these shades in other ColourPop palettes, especially since I own all of their bigger ones? Absolutely. Could I let this go? Sure. But in the spirit of Valentine's Day, truly, madly, deeply, I don't want to let it go, so I'm not. So let's get started. The first shade we're going to go into is Made to Last, which is this like contoury shade. So anyway, we ended up having to take her to the hospital because we took her back to Med Express against my I didn't want to, because you know I'd hate to get them to hit their quota. But I made an appointment. We took her. Well, that particular day she had said her ribs, like her side was hurting, and we were a little concerned with that. But I just thought maybe like poop pain, you know. Well, it ended up she had a virus. I forget what it was called. But it ended up turning into pneumonia. Well, her pneumonia had, I guess, there was water in her, a little bit of water in her lung, but some had escaped the right lung, and it made like a pocket. And I guess they were concerned that it wouldn't go away, and they would have to maybe drain it or hit it with a harder antibiotic. I'm not really for sure on all that. That's what I was getting out of what they were saying. But needless to say, the antibiotic worked. Thank goodness. She's not better, but she's not where she was, you know what I mean? So that's a good thing. And of course, we felt horrible that she was in there on her birthday. We were, you know, but it, you know, we're definitely gonna make it up to her for her birthday. But we stayed with her until, well, we left for to go home and change and stuff and shower, because my parents came down and sat with her, which I'm okay with, but at the same time, it's like they're older too, and I don't want to get them sick by no means. But my dad wore a mask, and my mom, I think she wore a mask too. But they seem to be fine. We're gonna go into the shade Pretty Cool, which is this one right here. It's like a purpley shade. But yeah, so now this is a matte, but it's got those little glitter things in it, just so you know. They don't really bother me. I don't get much fallout with the glitter. And if it did, it just brushes away 9 out of 10 times. But she is home. We are all home. She has antibiotics, like I said. Just take them for the next 4 days, and then we got to follow up with a pediatrician. But yeah, I don't know. These viruses these days, though, I'm telling you, they're not like, and they're overwhelming. Like, I don't remember ever, and maybe I was lucky, or I don't know. Like, I don't ever remember really being sick. And even now, I don't get sick, you know what I mean? I'm going to take that May to Last shade, that first shade we used, and I'm going to run it along the lower lash line. Like, I don't hardly ever get sick. Knock on wood. But I'm also not around people. Look at that. I already got glitter. I don't know if y'all can see this, but I already got glitter in my hair. But you know, while I was using this palette also, I was thinking that it would be cool. I got Pretty Cool. I'm going to take it along the lower lash line now too. You know, Natasha Denona's got the I Need a Nude, and it's really good palette for companion palette for like palettes that are like too dark. Well, that's great if they're too dark for me, right? But I thought, or I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if she came out with a palette like I Need a Nude, like a darker version for palettes that don't have any depth? Like that palette would give you depth. Because 9 out of 10, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but when you first start out in makeup, 9 out of 10, you buy stuff that's kind of lighter in tone because you kind of like are scared of it. At least that's how I was. So I technically have a lot of palettes that are like that, that are very light, subdued palettes. And I didn't realize that technically, but I mean, the I Need a Nude, like, it works because I'm still scared of darks. But it's like I kind of had the I Need a Nude in a lot of palettes. Not in one particular, but using a lot of different ones, I would have it. But I would like to see her formula in like an I Need a Nude darker version. It's got darker shades that people could use as a secondary palette for shades that don't go dark enough. And not the Xenon, because that's like really dark, you know what I mean? We're going to go into the shade Too Much now. And I'm going to darken up the outer corner here with that shade. And again, this is the darkest shade. It does have glitters in it. So you can see that clearly this palette's not going to go too dark on you. I don't even know if this palette's still available. Overall, it is a pretty palette, though. You know what I'm wondering? Like, because they do have older palettes on their website, but I'm wondering, like, when they sell out of a batch, because obviously they make their own, I'm wondering if they correct. Like, say if I bought this now, would these glitters be their old formula or their new formula? Just curious. on how they do their stuff. Alright, beautiful. But I do like this palette. I like the tones. I like the gradual effect you get. I like the fact that it doesn't go too dark and deep, but it definitely gives you something for sure. And it's got a beautiful gradient effect too, if I haven't said that. Like the shades just go one into the next beautifully. Although it could be because I'm working with this bottom row and the shades are kind of all the same, but I think that even if you picked a different way of going, it would have still been very pretty. It's like a subdued, is that right? Subdued vampire, like vampy look. Look at that. I'm so excited. So yeah, we're all home. We're all feeling ran down for sure. Like I think I maybe slept an hour, but between her coughing and scaring me and then my fiance snoring. Alright, we're going to go into the shade Misty. I really was going to go into Mr. Sandman because I think that's gorgeous, but I know I've done looks with that. So I decided to go into Misty instead. And we're going to pick that up and put it on the lid. And these are just nothing's, well, there's not, I don't want to say they're nothing special because they're pretty, but they're just like satin shades. They're nothing like gonna blow you away as far as like shiny. It's a little shiny though, it's pretty, but it is more of a satin, like not metallic, not foiled by no means. I mean, you could probably wet it and get that effect, but that's up to you. Just want to make sure I get them even. And y'all, look, I am so good. Usually, obviously there's an exception to everything about like washing my brushes, taking my makeup off, doing my skincare religiously, right? Well, if you're in a hospital, not so much, obviously, with good reason. I slept in my makeup. I know. We're going to go into Sweet Dreams right here and use this for inner corner. Yeah, it was bad, you all, bad. Like, when I came home, my face, it was bad. I will say that it bounced back fairly quick. I mean, not as quick as I'd like, obviously. But I now, when people say, like, wash your face, I understand. I may have forgotten, like, younger doing it, because I'm sure I didn't wash my face at younger. And didn't realize the consequences of that. But as I'm older and I do this, you know, 24/7, like, I now see the aftermath of if you don't do it. We're going to take the shade Too Much again, the darkest shade, and I'm going to line the top lash line and bottom lash line. And I have got glitter everywhere just because I took that one shade out with that magnet. Can you believe that, y'all? That is crazy to me. And I'm curious, like, did people like their glitter? I don't. But I mean, I'm going to have to say that people must have thought it was okay or usable. I don't even consider it usable. Especially nowadays, but with what's on the market. But, like, if you barely touch into it, it's getting everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And you may think you have just the little teeniest bit, but I promise you, it'll turn into a all-out war. excited to tell you. Like, I definitely have a pimple here still. One over here. Like, I'm still fighting what I've done to myself. Don't get me wrong here. But it's not as bad as it was. I'm gonna lower or line that lower lash line now. I use the ColourPop Crybaby for my waterline. And this isn't my best look using this palette. And I'm still trying to get back into it, so be patient. So if I don't do the palette justice, know that I do like it a lot though. Okay. Alright, I think we're done there. Like I said, I did want to put a little bit of glitter, but I just feel like it's going to ruin the look, so I wasn't even messing with it. I really wasn't. Alright, and then for the top lashes, just using this. I gotta use it up. It's the Beach Proof Mascara. It's a good mascara though. And to be fair, I wore this the day we had to take her to the hospital, so I did have to sleep in it. And the next day, when I woke up, still there. Everything was still intact, to be fair. I mean, my cheeks weren't, like, that part of it, the blush, bronzer, because I'm a side sleeper. But the rest of my face, foundation, like through the T-zone and stuff, was doing real good. My eyes, like the eyeshadow held. I was like, whoa, because I figured I'd wake up looking like a raccoon, technically. But I didn't. Not that I would care, because that was the last thing on my mind. But I do like this mascara. Especially for like, just like this look, like an everyday look. It gives me a volume and a little bit of length, and it just looks like nice. Nothing like over the top or anything, you know. It's not my Gucci. It's not my Lash Clash. It's not that. But it's there, you know what I mean? And for lips, I'm using, again, the Natasha Denona Berry, because I'm just, like, in love with that. I forgot to put mascara on this lower lash line. So I'm just going to do that now on both eyes. And it's the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water. Alrighty, and then we're done. So this palette, honestly, you can create a really pretty look very quick. Nothing over the top. Like, you're not going to get the bam or the metallic wet look or any of that. You're just going to get a pretty look, you know? And sometimes we just need pretty. Like today, I just need pretty. That's it. So let me tell you what's on my face though, because I did use the Tom Ford Skin Illuminating Powder Duo in Moonlight again. I am in love with this. I now understand. It is just so natural. I'm wearing both this and this. This is the highlighter I'm wearing, and this is the bronzer, whatever you want to call it, you know, right there. And then I'm wearing the Tom Ford Sheer Cheek Duo in 05 Le Somme, I think is how you say it. It's in 05 though. And these are so pretty too, these colors. But I'm wearing this top shade on my cheek, which honestly, it doesn't, like, it still looks pinky, but it looks more pinky brown to me. But it works. It's beautiful. So I am wearing that. So it's kind of, you know, pricey. I get it. I get it. The blush, the bronzer stuff, and the highlighter, pricey. But the concealer is my NYX Bear With Me concealer. And then for foundation, y'all, I just had to. It's the Simply Ageless Skin Perfecting Essence. It is, first off, gross looking when you pump it out. It's gross. But I did apply both the concealer and the foundation with my It Cosmetics brush, okay? And I pumped this on my broken palette from Ulta. It was in the shape of a heart. It now looks like this. You can see I put 2 pumps, and then I took the brush and sort of just like blended it together, and then put, you know, stripe, and then down the middle, and then blended it out. It's a little bit light for me, just a little bit, and I have it in the shade 30, light medium, so it is just a little bit light. It's but it's nice. Like, I keep looking at it going, do I like it? Do I not like it? Is it really depends on what you're looking for. With this eye look and everything else put together, I think it looks very nice. But I would say it's definitely light coverage, and I don't think more is better. I think if you apply more, it just starts to look and lay wrong. Whether it be it looks like it's heavy, like you haven't blended it in, or it starts to pick up the brush strokes, or it's starting to like not even adhere to your skin, that can happen. So what I did was, like I just said, I swiped it on, and then I hurried and just blended it in. I took it down like this, and then I just took circles to blend it where it needed to go and down the neck. Now it is lighter than what I would prefer, although it's kind of a spot on match to my hands, but technically my face is darker than my hands somehow. I don't know. Well, everything's all different colors if you ask me. My neck's different from my face, then my chest, then my arms, and it's all different. But to each their own, I suppose. But I will say that the name kind of hits it. It's Skin Perfecting Essence. It is very lightweight. Like, you can, it feels like water on the skin, like a drink of water, really. There is pigment, but it is very sheer. I don't even know if I'd say light, as in it just sort of covers everything very sheerly. Like I can't think of the wording, y'all. It says skin tint, and I would say that for sure. A Hydro Fresh tint. Well, it does say skin tint, so that's tint. I personally like it. On a quick day, I could easily see myself using that. It's not going to give me any kind of coverage, by no means. Other than like just like a perfecting coverage, like a almost like a primer maybe, or a certain sunscreens, how they're colored, like that is where I kind of feel like it's at. I didn't use a primer underneath of it today because I did want to see how it would just do on its own with just like my skincare. It did good. I mean, so far so good. I'll keep playing with it though. But at the same time, I got mine off Amazon. It was $21.50, I think, technically. $21.49 or something. That's expensive. Okay? Now, is as expensive as like other foundations that I have? And like, no. But when I think of drugstore, if I'm going to, like, that's not my favorite foundation, number one. It would be quick out the door, sure. But I mean, I like my Pro Glow. What is this? Much better. The L'Oreal. and I like it so much more better, and it's way cheaper. So keep in mind that price point, because that's got me like, whoa. Now, it's supposed to be supposedly a dupe for the Chanel. In that case, if you love the Chanel and you try this and they're similar, then maybe it is worth it to you, because I'm sure there's a huge price gap. So, but anyway, I just want to let you know that I am trying that out, and so far so good. I do like it, but I am in nowhere saying it's like a top favorite of mine, by no means. I would say it could be a favorite as in like if I'm just going out the door and going, you know, just throw that all over my face and go. But then I feel like I would look weird because it is lighter. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get another shade too. So, but I don't want to spend $20-some again, y'all. But anyway, it works like this. It looks fine. I think I look nice. I think everything applied beautifully. You know, and whether it be the Tom Ford that brought it home on my cheeks to make everything look fine, so be it. I have it in my collection already. But the palette, I do love this palette. I always have. I don't think that's going to change. Even with my preferences, it does go dark enough, but you're kind of going to get the same purpley look. Your lid could change color. Obviously, there's other satins, satins in here, but I don't know. It's up to you. I don't even know if it's still available. If it is, you know, but maybe you already have it in your collection. You forgot about it. Now would be the time to, you know, pull it out. Being Valentine's Day. Truly, madly, deeply. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday unless there's a new launch. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy, guys. Bye.